Evening, John.
Evening, Jimmy.
All game.
Working again?
Yeah.
I'll leave you be then. Good night, John.
Good night, Jimmy.
Hey agents, a recent connectivity issue is quite an inconvenience, affecting many players.
What did you just do to me?
So it is welcoming news that the issues are resolved mostly.
Congratulations.
Another positive thing is to extend our favorite global event, Golden Bullet, giving players substantial damage boost to destroy enemies where they spawned, killing them where they stood. With the Golden Bullet event behind us, I have time to fine-tune my Backfire build for heroic missions, making adjustments for more damage. To make it more interesting, I am comparing it with the Dark Winter, the fan favorite SMG. If this sounds interesting, let's continue. You may have come across many build options on YouTube for Dark Winter. I like to run mine with the Hunter's Fury gear set. This is my preferred build that is based on my experience with the guns in playing solo heroic missions. You are welcome to leave in the comments section your preferred build. With that said, the fan favorite, the Dark Winter, when spec right, you can destroy enemies swiftly with its weapon damage boost and rate of fire, hitting headshots between 1 to 1.3 million, even without the Golden Bullet activated. Keep in mind that 1 to 1.3 million per headshot is double the damage, compared to a SMG build that can hit 13 million total damage at the shooting range when hitting only at 700,000+ per headshot. If 13 million at the range is anything to go by, now having double the damage per hit, can I claim 26 million? The effective range of Dark Winter is 15 meter. I will not be using Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush, because my damage output will drop off significantly when the enemy is outside the 10 to 15 meters range. You can run after your enemies, but it will delay you getting to a certain spawn location. For my build, I will be using Memento and Obliterate, which can provide 55% boost in weapon damage when fully buffed, not limited by proximity. You want to avoid overstacking everything into close range combat. You may be concerned that it will take a little ramp up before Memento and Obliterate become fully buffed. That's a valid and practical concern. To manage that, you need to trigger off Hunter's Fury disorientation on kill by targeting the red and purple enemies first, especially when they are grouped together, buying you time to kill them one after another, while you collect more trophies from Memento. If enemies are far apart, deploying a drone will distract them, removing focus fire on you, giving you time to approach them. By the way, destroying the enemy's turret will disorientate the enemies within the range. So this is my Dark Winter before Memento's buff. With full buff, total damage increases by 24%. Hitting body shots between 260 to 750,000. What I like most about this build is engaging the enemies where they spawn and killing them where they stand, without the buff from Golden Bullet. It is super satisfying. In addition to weapon damage boost, Memento's buff improves your survivability with armor regen. Your shield health improves significantly too. The same goes to your drone, which hits harder and comes with a shorter cooldown. I'm using the Firewall Specialization, so I get to use the Striker Shield, which boosts your damage based on the number of enemies in front of the shield, making it super easy to take on a group of enemies by yourself, killing them at the spawn point, and having it all done quick and easy. The most important part of this build, the Hunter's Fury gear set, is the Apex Predator talent. Enemies within 15 meters received a debuff, which amplifies your damage against them by 20%, and if you kill a debuff enemy, you disorient others within 5 meters, and your weapon damage is further amplified by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 25%. All these, on top of the weapon damage, 15% for shotgun, 15% for SMG, and 20% armor on kill, 100% health on kill truly makes you an Apex Predator.
So how does this stack up against the Backfire build we saw earlier?
Yes, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's quickly go through the Backfire build that's modified for bleed resist only. Why bleed resist? Well, let me explain. The exotic SMG, Backfire, will add a stack of critical damage on every hit for 10 seconds, stacking up to 200 times. However, it will apply a 10 seconds bleed to the user on reload, the damage deals 0.5% armor damage for every crit damage stack you have. So having high bleed resist is one of the ways to avoid the bleed damage. You can try using the Ninja Bike knee pads to reload the gun, by jumping over cover, but I wouldn't recommend it. You are most vulnerable when you need to reload. So instead of taking cover to reload, you expose yourself by jumping over it. Next, let's take a look at the gear set. We are using a Sokolov mask for 10% SMG damage, 15% weapon damage, 6% crit chance, and the rest goes to hazard and bleed resistance. For backpack, we are using Memento for the short and long-term buffs, enhancing weapon damage by 30%, and skill boost to shield health and drone. For the body armor, we are using Cheska with Obliterate, to give the additional crit chance bonus, and the rest goes to hazard and bleed resistance. For the gloves, we are using Grupo Sombra, focusing on weapon damage, critical hit damage, and hazard protection. To help with hazard protection, I have a YAL holster. The core attribute is armor, followed by hazard protection and critical hit damage. And for the knee pads, I have a pair of Sokolov knee pads, giving me 30% critical hit damage in total, with 15% weapon damage, followed by hazard protection. That sums up the gear pieces. For skills, I am using a tier 3 striker shield. It helps to boost my damage and my survivability. You can bring the tier higher if you need more survivability, depending on your playstyle and if you have team support. I am also using an assault drone. While it can boost your firepower, its main advantage is to distract the enemies, so they don't focus fire on you, allowing you to spec into more weapon damage. On the stats, we have 119.5 thousands weapon damage, 58% crit chance, 116% crit damage, with a potential to max out at 316% due to backfire, 70% headshot and a range at 22. For the rest of the defense stats, it will improve further when Memento is fully buffed. When Memento is fully buffed, weapon damage can jump from 120 to 149,000, that's a 24.4% increase, keeping in mind that the larger the base, the better. Without a doubt, the backfire is a harder hitter, given the lower rate of fire, the difference is further amplified by the Memento buffs. In addition, backfire has a larger magazine size, 56 against Dark Winter's 45, and better effective range, 22 meters versus Dark Winter's 15 meters. Here's the best part. Let's do a field testing. Let's go to Lincoln Memorial. We will run through the heroic mission, and we will do a side-by-side comparison. Let's see how these two guns stack up against each other. Keep in mind that we will use two different builds, fine-tuned for each gun, so that they can perform at their best. My initial impression is, Dark Winter performs really well, size up nicely against the backfire, considering the difference in weapon damage. However, backfire's damage increased substantially when allowed to focus fire, killing enemies faster without constant reloading. In this clip, Dark Winter shows a better damage number on screen, giving the impression that it hits harder. But Backfire is able to finish the first wave earlier, allowing you to advance to the next spawn point. For the remaining portion, both guns seem to keep pace with each other, except Backfire is delayed slightly by running into a Chungus. For this encounter, the Dark Winter continues to show a higher damage number on screen. However, both guns are able to clean up the initial group swiftly. When moving to the next door, Dark Winter runs into a Chungus this time, delaying it slightly. Unfortunately, not being able to get to the next spawn point on time, disrupt the flow of clearing up the room. So this round goes to Backfire. This is the final encounter. We have 3 to 4 elites in this room, so it will be interesting to see how these two guns perform. If you like the content of the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and share it with others. Don't forget to hit that notification bell icon as well, to be notified of future content, as I do post frequently build videos for PvE for the Division 2. When the Backfire is allowed to build up the stacks, it is truly devastating. The damage stacks up quickly, destroying enemies on the spot. With 200 stacks on the Backfire, it's able to clean up the enemies faster. Even with 2 Chungas. So this round goes to the Backfire. Between the 2 guns, I enjoy playing with the Dark Winter, the Hunter's Fury set, for the ability to stun the enemies, giving me better crowd control, and the high rate of fire is truly addictive. When I am in a group, the enemies gain quite a fair bit of health, so Backfire is really good with fewer reloads, focus fire on them, and you build up critical damage stacks quickly. It is also easier to make the kill and gain the trophies for the Memento backpack. And if you are playing with directives, the Backfire build will provide you better hazard protection. Whatever your preference, you will enjoy the game more with the SMG of your choosing. That's all I have for this video. See you in the next one. Stay safe and healthy.